Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India NewsHour, India's voice to the world. I'm Amritpal Singh. Coming up in the next 1 hour, Azerbaijan Airlines passenger jet crashes near the city of Aktau in Kazakhstan. Many fear dead. 32 people survived the crash. Tensions escalate between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Kabul says 46 civilians killed in Pakistani airstrikes in Afghanistan. Vows retaliation. Countries around the world celebrate Christmas with fervor. Pope appeals for peace in world conflicts. And the Indian Prime Minister launches the Ken-Betwa river linking project in Madhya Pradesh. Project expected to benefit 6.5 million people in the water-scarce region. Hello. Dozens were feared dead on Wednesday after a passenger plane carrying 67 people from Azerbaijan to Russia crashed in Kazakhstan. Authorities said 32 passengers had survived the crash. The reports about the others are still not clear. Tripti Tripathi reports.
An Azerbaijan Airline passenger jet with 67 people on board crashed on Wednesday in western Kazakhstan after veering from its scheduled route. 32 had survived the crash near the city of Aktau, an oil and gas hub on the eastern shore of the Caspian Sea. The plane was flying from Azerbaijani capital Baku to the city of Grozny in southern Russia.
Emergency rescue operations are currently going on at present moment. Currently 28 people are hospitalized, including 2 children. Ambulance flights are scheduled from the cities of Astana to the city of Aktau. The Deputy Prime Minister and Vice Minister for Emergency Situations are planned to fly to the scene of the incident as part of a government commission.
Russian President Vladimir Putin held a phone conversation with Aliyev and also expressed his condolences in connection with the crash. The Kazakh Transport Ministry said that the plane was carrying 37 nationals from Azerbaijan, 6 from Kazakhstan, 3 from Kyrgyzstan, and 16 from Russia. The aircraft was attempting an emergency landing at Aktau airport when the crash occurred. As per a Russian aviation watchdog, the preliminary information suggested that the pilot had decided to make an emergency landing after a bird strike. With agency inputs, Tripti Tripathi's report for DD India.
RT correspondent Marina Kosareva reports how the Azerbaijan Airline plane crashed near the Kazakh city of Aktau. Among those who were on board were 16 Russians, 37 Azerbaijani citizens, 6 Kazakh and 3 Kyrgyz citizens.
The plane was leaving Baku, Azerbaijan, and it was heading to Grozny in Chechnya when apparently it collided with a flock of birds. And that collision actually caused an oxygen tank on board to explode, after which passengers apparently lost consciousness. Then an SOS signal was sent out while the plane was over the Caspian Sea, and apparently the pilot decided to divert the plane to Aktau in Kazakhstan. And it tried to have a landing. We can see from the video there, as it was attempting to land, it caught fire, started spinning around, and the front of the plane then fell apart. And presumably that's where those who died were seated, in the front of the plane. Of course, emergency services arrived at the scene right away. Some 150 people working there. Around half of the passengers survived, and we have heard from the Kazakh Ministry of Transport that confirmed the citizenship of those who were on board. And there were 37 Azerbaijani Pakistani citizens, 16 Russians, 6 Kazakhs, and 3 Kyrgyz citizens. So those were the people who were on board, and we're finding out information as to who made it out alive in particular.
And on Wednesday, Russia launched a major airstrike targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure, focusing on critical facilities supporting Kyiv's military-industrial complex. In response, Ukraine issued a nationwide air alert, with residents taking shelter in metro stations in Kyiv. This escalation follows Russia's ongoing attacks on Ukraine's energy sector, intensifying since spring 2024. Syed Absarul Hassan has filed this report.
Russia on Wednesday launched a massive air strike on Ukraine's energy infrastructure in northeastern region. Russian Defense Ministry said in a statement that Ukraine's critical energy facilities that support the work of Kyiv's military-industrial complex was targeted. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that Russia had attacked Ukraine's energy system and some cities with the cruise and ballistic missiles plus drones. Ukrainian military launched a countrywide air alert in response to Russian cruise missile launches. Kyiv resident took shelter at metro station on Wednesday. Families with children and pets sat or slept on mats inside the metro in early hours of Christmas morning. In retaliation, Ukraine also hit back at Russia. A Ukrainian strike killed 4 people and injured 5 in the Russian town of Lagov in the Kursk region flanking Ukraine. Regional Governor Alexander Hinstein said on Telegram, as a result of barbaric shelling from the Ukrainian armed forces on peaceful Lagov, 3 people were killed and 1 more person died later in hospital. Russia has intensified its attack on the Ukrainian energy sector since spring 2024, damaging almost half of its generating capacity and causing hour-long blackouts throughout the country. The country's largest private energy company, DTEK, said its generating facilities were attacked during the strike, causing serious damages to power equipment. Syed Afsarul Hassan for DD India.
Post-election violence has erupted in Mozambique following the confirmation of Daniel Chapo, the ruling party's presidential candidate, as the winner of the disputed October 9 elections. At least 21 people, including 2 police officers, have been killed in the last 24 hours, with civil society groups reporting over 130 deaths in clashes. Tensions remain high in the capital as protesters accuse Frelimo of vote rigging. More in this report.
Post-election violence intensified in Mozambique after the country's highest court confirmed ruling party presidential candidate Daniel as the winner of the disputed 9 October elections on Monday. Members of opposition parties were outraged by the announcement, stating that Frelimo's victory in the presidential election was the main cause of violent protests.
The Podemos party neither recognizes nor absolutely expects the result of education and validity sought by the Fundamental Council. We consider the lack of transparency, integrity, professionalism and responsibility of the educational management bodies and ultimately of the Functional Council to be the underlying reason for not accepting these results.
According to officials, at least 21 people, including 2 police officers, have been killed in Mozambique over the past 24 hours in post-election violence that erupted after the ruling party was controversially confirmed as the winner of the recent elections. Meanwhile, the civil society monitoring group Plataforma Decide reported that at least 130 people have been killed in clashes with police. Tensions remain high in Mozambique's capital after violent protests. Demonstrators are demanding a better life, claiming that it is the people who are suffering and dying, not the leaders of the ruling Frelimo party.
The people are demonstrating fully. You can see all the trees they cut down are practically falling down because of demonstration. The police started shooting tear gas. It was gas, gas and gas. When the gas ran out, they put in real bullets. Because of that, we the protesters decided what to do. We don't know now if our lives will continue like this or not.
Frelimo has faced accusations of vote rigging since it first allowed elections in 1994, though it denies these claims. Western observers have described recent elections as neither free nor fair, and the post-election period has seen the largest protest against Frelimo in Mozambique's history. Bureau Report, DD India.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the central Madhya Pradesh state on Wednesday. During his visit, the Prime Minister laid the foundation stone of the Ken-Betwa River linking project at Khajuraho, more than 23 years after the project was first conceptualized. The project is expected to benefit 4.4 million people in 10 districts of Madhya Pradesh and 2.1 million people in 12 districts of Uttar Pradesh province, which jointly form the water-scarce Bundelkhand region. It will also provide irrigation to about 1 million hectares of farmland. Prime Minister also released a commemorative stamp and coin marking the 100th birth anniversary of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Earlier, Prime Minister Modi also visited an exhibition during foundation stone laying ceremony of the Ken-Betwa River linking national project in Khajuraho. Speaking at the event, Prime Minister Modi hailed efforts of connecting rivers across India. He also congratulated the people of Madhya Pradesh for the Ken-Betwa River linking project.
आज हमारी सरकार देश भर में नदियों को जोड़ने के अभियान को गति दे रही है। केन-बेतवा लिंक प्रोजेक्ट का सपना भी अब साकार होने वाला है। केन-बेतवा लिंक प्रोजेक्ट से बुंदेलखंड क्षेत्र में समृद्धि और खुशहाली के नए द्वार खुलेंगे।
Former Indian Prime Minister's Atal Bihari Vajpayee's birth anniversary is being observed as Good Governance Day in India, honouring his leadership and services to society. A look at the relevance and resolve of the day.
India's former Prime Minister and country's veteran leader Atal Bihari Vajpayee is the architect of India's transition into 21st CE. The inspirational leader was engaged in the service of the nation throughout his life. Vajpayee's rule proved to be a milestone for Indian politics and administration. The legacy of Atal good governance has been successfully followed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. PM Modi's Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, that is everyone together, everyone's development, everyone's trust policy is an appropriate example in point. The Modi government at the centre has taken many such initiatives in the last 10 years, which reflect the continuing legacy of striving for good governance. These schemes include Prime Minister Vishwakarma Yojana. It is an important initiative towards economically empowering traditional artisans and handicraftsmen. A provision of 13,000 crore rupees has been made under the scheme, which will be applicable for the next 5 years, that is from the year 2023-24 to the year 2027-28. The Modi government at the centre has also set an ambitious target of building 3.32 crore houses in rural areas. As of November 19, 2024, 3.21 crore houses have been approved and 2.67 crore houses have been completed. The Jan Dhan scheme has proved to be a decisive factor in connecting every citizen of the country to the banking system. Under the scheme, people living below the poverty line can open zero balance account in their banks. The Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas scheme has proved to be a boon for India's growing economy. This skill certification scheme has enabled Indian youth to take industry-relevant skill training that will help them achieve better livelihood. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government also launched Ujjwala Yojana with an objective to make clean cooking fuel such as LPG available to the rural and deprived households which were otherwise using traditional cooking fuels. Under Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme, the central government gives financial assistance of 6,000 rupees to the farmers of the country in a year. Moreover, Atal Pension Yojana has been launched to provide an uninterrupted income to all the citizens of the country after the age of 60 years. The Modi government also launched Ayushman Bharat scheme, the largest health assurance scheme in the world, which aims at providing a health cover of 5 lakh rupees per family per year. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, the central government has also worked continuously to economically empower the people. Make in India, a government program, was launched in the year 2014 to promote entrepreneurship in the country. Prime Minister Swanidhi scheme was launched to economically empower the street vendors affected during the pandemic. As of the 24th of December 2024, loans have been distributed to 69 lakh street vendors under the scheme to re-establish their lost business. The central government came up with the National Single Window System in September 2021. It is a digital platform for investors' guidance to identify and apply for faster approvals as per their business. National Logistics Policy was also launched in 2022 with the aim of reducing logistic cost and increased efficiency. It has played a vital role in making Indian products more competitive globally. These steps are highly inspired by Atal Bihari Vajpayee's ideologies. These have a greater significance for the whole nation for the overall development of the country. Bureau Report, DD India.
And still to come up on DD India NewsHour, a discussion with an expert on the implication of the Pakistan airstrikes in Afghanistan, which killed 46 people. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano sends lava gushing to the surface after eruption.
December 26, 2004, a devastating earthquake off the coast of Indonesia triggered a tsunami that swept across the Indian Ocean. India was one of the worst affected countries. Today, after 20 years, we reflect on the tragedy and explore how the nation has since fortified itself against such calamities.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Amritpal Singh. The Pakistani military conducted airstrikes in neighboring Afghanistan late on Tuesday night, targeting hideouts of the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan armed group in Paktika province. According to Afghan Defense Ministry, 46 civilians were killed in the strikes.
Pakistan airstrikes in the eastern border province of Afghanistan killed 46 people on Tuesday night. Taliban government spokesman Zabihullah Mujahid said that those killed were mostly women and children. He also said 6 more people were wounded, mostly children. The Afghan Defense Ministry statement condemned the strikes, calling them barbaric and a clear aggression. Taliban has threatened retaliation, while local residents express anger against Pakistan.
Pakistan is a terrorist country. All these people who were killed were women, children and common people. None of them were Taliban.
I say to Pakistan, don't oppress us. Those who died were women, children and common people. They have killed our mothers and sisters. May God punish you with his wrath.
This is not the first time Pakistan has carried out such operations inside Afghan territory. In March, strikes by Pakistan's military in the border regions of Afghanistan had killed 8 civilians, prompting skirmishes on the frontier. Pakistan has repeatedly accused the Afghan government of harboring armed groups, especially the TTP, which it claims carries out cross-border attacks targeting Pakistani security forces. Last week, TTP fighters claimed responsibility for killing at least 16 Pakistani soldiers in South Waziristan in one of the deadliest recent attacks on security personnel. While the Afghan Taliban deny providing refuge to armed groups or allowing their territory to be used for cross-border attacks, Pakistan asserts that the TTP conducts its operations from Afghan sanctuaries. Bureau Report, DD India.
And to talk more about that, I'm joined by TCA Raghavan, former Indian High Commissioner to Pakistan, on the show. Thank you, Ambassador Raghavan, for joining me on the show. Why are things going south for Pakistan when it comes to Afghanistan? One would have assumed that the Taliban were their creation, therefore they would owe loyalties to Pakistan and act in their interest.
Well, that is the irony of the situation and the dilemma which the Pakistani state faces, because they supported the Taliban in its comeback to power in Afghanistan in every possible way, on the assumption that the Taliban, once in power, would play ball with it. That assumption has been comprehensively belied. And to a large extent, that is because of an autonomous factor that has emerged over the past 15-20 years, which is in the form of the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. This is an offshoot of the Taliban, but it operates primarily in Pakistani territory. And the victory of the Taliban in Afghanistan has acted as a kind of template for the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. Their point is that if the Taliban can establish an Islamic emirate in Afghanistan, why cannot we establish a similar emirate in the tribal areas of Pakistan? So this therefore becomes the principal contradiction between this offshoot of the Taliban and the Pakistani state. And the Pakistani state really has no effective way of dealing with it, because the Taliban is also closely tied to the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan.
Okay. No, but does the TTP really listen to the Taliban? Because they are operating out of their country. The Pakistan accuses Afghanistan of providing them sanctuary, of they having their training facilities there. So does the TTP enjoy a full logistical, financial support from the Taliban government or the Afghan Taliban?
It's very difficult to say, but certainly it gets some measure of support, and it has a certain capacity to operate in sanctuaries in Afghanistan also. But their principal basis of support is in the tribal areas of Pakistan itself.
Okay.
And my own impression is, although views differ on this, my own impression is that the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan is to some extent an autonomous force, and it will not listen entirely to what the Taliban says. So I think that is the real issue which the government of Pakistan faces, that it has an expectation from the Taliban in Afghanistan, which the Taliban may not have the capacity to fulfill, or may be asking for a price which is difficult for the Pakistani government to pay.
Okay. Ambassador, then let me understand from you that if the TTP is autonomous, they don't listen to the Afghan Taliban, Pakistan is one of the few countries that diplomatically recognizes the Taliban as the legitimate government of Afghanistan. They are one of the handful countries which have diplomatic relations, has embassies in each other's countries. Then isn't it in the interest of the Afghan Taliban that if the Pakistan army wants to eliminate them, let them do so? Why have they vowed retaliation?
Well, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan over the years extended a great deal of support to the Taliban in Afghanistan. Let's not forget that. There are very close fraternal relations between the two organizations. To some extent, they often come from members of the same tribe. Part of the tribe may be in Afghanistan, the other part may be in Pakistan. So there are very close links, and it may not be easy for the Taliban to suddenly dissociate itself from the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. The second reason to remember is that the Taliban does have a measure of sympathy for the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan's demands, because if the TTP says that we want to set up an Islamic emirate, or we want to have much greater autonomy in the tribal areas of Pakistan, the Taliban itself themselves see nothing wrong with this demand.
Are you then saying, Ambassador, that it suits the Afghan Taliban to have a strategic depth inside the tribal areas of Pakistan, and that is why they let them operate?
Well, it's not just the Taliban. See, no government or no regime in Afghanistan to date has entirely recognized the Durand line, which separates the two countries.
Right.
And they see the issue as one of the same tribe being divided by an artificial boundary. And their advice, therefore, to the government of Pakistan is that this is not a security issue, this is a political issue, and it's a social issue, and you should deal with it politically rather than applying force. You should talk to the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. The problem which the government of Pakistan faces is that they are the subject of a large number of attacks which are being carried out by the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, and to some extent they are a victim of their own policies to date, which is of encouraging extremist groups, or which are having links with extremist groups and using them as instruments of state policy. And now the problem is a familiar one, that those groups whom they once encouraged have turned against them.
Okay. Ambassador, don't you find this really interesting that, after the coming in of Taliban or the storming of the Taliban in Kabul, there were fears that there could be sanctuaries provided to these extremist elements and they could put the pressure on Kashmir. Interestingly, that hasn't really happened that much. It's in fact become a headache for those who, put them in their madrasas, gave them logistical and financial support.
Well, this was the grave error of judgment of the government of Pakistan, and they had received enough warnings about this. Many people had counseled them about this in Pakistan itself, but driven by a certain securitized perspective of how to conduct foreign policy, they continued on that policy and now are having to pay the cost for it.
All right. We'll leave it there. Ambassador T.C. Raghavan, thank you very much for joining and lending us your insights. Thank you. And in the aftermath of Assad's collapse and the new regime in control, Syrian armed forces have agreed that they will dissolve their command and consolidate them under the defense ministry. On Tuesday, the new Syrian leader Ahmad al-Shara reached an agreement with former rebel faction chiefs in this regard. A statement from the new administration announced this development. The ministry would be restructured and will also use former rebel factions and officers who defected from Bashar al-Assad's army. However, representatives of the US-backed Kurdish-led forces that controlled swaths of Syria's northeast were absent from the meeting. South Korea suspended President Yoon Suk-yeol defied second summon for investigation over martial law on Wednesday. Yoon, a former prosecutor, also failed to attend the hearing he was summoned to last Wednesday, giving no explanation for his absence. The Corruption Investigation Office is expected to decide in the coming days whether to issue a third summons. The officials are also expected to ask the court to grant an arrest warrant that would compel Yoon to appear for questioning. Yoon was stripped of his duties by Parliament on the 14th of December, 11 days after a brief declaration of martial law in the country, which he quickly took back. Yoon faces impeachment and criminal charges of insurrection that could see him jailed for life. He can even face a death penalty. At least 3 people were killed and others injured when armed men opened fire on a group of journalists gathered for a government press conference set to announce the opening of Haiti's largest public hospital. 2 reporters and a police officer were killed. Armed gangs in Haiti, with near total control of capital Port-au-Prince and wide remit over the rest of the country, have targeted hospitals to show their muscles over the government, forcing most to shut down. The people of Haiti continue to suffer with unbearable levels of gang violence. Let's now take a look at other stories making news around the world. The Kilauea volcano in Hawaii roared back to life on Monday with columns of lava erupting from its caldera. According to the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory, lava fountains reaching heights of up to 80 meters have been observed, creating a spectacular display. Spanish Coast Guard on Wednesday rescued dozens of migrants near the Canary Islands. At least 5 wooden boats were spotted just miles off the coast of the archipelago. One vessel carrying 60 men and 4 women was towed to the port in Gran Canaria. Hot air balloons filled the skies over Pokhara as Nepal hosted its first ever International Hot Air Balloon Festival. Locals in traditional attire celebrated with drum beats and dances, while others captured the spectacle on their phones. Organizers said that the 9-day event aims to promote adventure tourism in the Himalayan nation. Still to come up on DD India NewsHour, Syrian church hosts the first post-Assad Christmas Day Mass and amidst safety concerns. Britain's royalty attends the Mass on Christmas morning.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Amritpal Singh. Let's take a look at the headlines once again. Azerbaijan Airlines passenger jet crashes near the city of Aktau in Kazakhstan. Many fare dead. 32 survived the crash. Tensions escalate between Afghanistan and Pakistan. Kabul says 46 civilians killed in Pakistani airstrikes in Afghanistan. Vows retaliation. Countries around the world celebrate Christmas with fervor. Pope appeals for peace in world conflicts. And now for some updates on the Christmas celebrations across the globe. Britain's King Charles, joined by Queen Consort Camilla and members of the royal family, attended the Christmas Day service at St. Mary Magdalene's Church on the Sandringham estate. Among those present were Prince William, Catherine and their children Prince George and Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis, along with other royals marking the festive occasion. Syrian Christians attended the Christmas Mass in one of the oldest churches of Syria, the Lady of Damascus Church, on Wednesday. The first since the fall of Bashar al-Assad, in what can be seen as a litmus test of the country's new Islamist rulers pledging to protect religious minority rights. The morning service went smoothly with chorus of hymns filling the historic church. And as the world gathers for Christmas celebrations across the world, Pope Francis calls for arms to be silenced across the globe.
Churches worldwide marked the birth of Jesus with joy, prayers and devotion. Special services, midnight masses and processions brought a spiritual fervor to the nativity festivities. Streets across the globe adorned with sparkling decorations celebrated togetherness. Back in the Vatican, Pope Francis, leading the world's 1.3 billion Roman Catholics into Christmas, celebrated a solemn Christmas Eve Mass at St. Peter's Basilica. In his sermon, Pope Francis called for talks between Ukraine and Russia to end the conflict. He also called for an end to political, social or military conflicts in places including Lebanon, Mali, Haiti and Gaza.
This Christmas, at the beginning of the Jubilee year, I invite every individual and all peoples and nations to find the courage needed to walk through that door, to become pilgrims of hope, to silence the sound of arms, and overcome divisions. May there be the boldness needed to open the door to negotiation and to gestures of dialogue and encounter in order to achieve a just and lasting peace.
Christmas traditions for many in Kiev were not just about exchanging gifts or decorating homes. Rather, it lingered on a thin hope of peace from long-lasting conflict.
This holiday is not about joy, but about being united. I thought that it is good that we have a reason today to ignore the sirens, even though we cannot fully dismiss them. Even when we look calm on the outside, we have anxiety inside of us.
The festivities are not so merry for Ukrainian soldiers who dream of family reunions. Christmas tree installed at the command post is the only reminder of winter holiday season for them.
My third Christmas in the armed forces of Ukraine. I would love to celebrate it at home, but unfortunately it is what it is.
We hope that we will be able to celebrate together as soon as possible to reunite with our men. The most important thing is God protecting them. We are praying for them. We celebrate today for the sake of soldiers.
People in Baghdad and Mosul celebrated Christmas and called for inclusive peace across Iraq. Down south, locals, tourists and dogs soaked in the Christmas spirit at Sydney's Bondi Beach on Christmas Day, posing for photographs with the Christmas tree on the sand.
Loving it, not missing home at all. Obviously only been here 3 days, so just sinking in now, but to wake up this morning and come to the beach on Christmas Day is something quite special.
Celebrations were not just limited to Earth. Astronauts aboard the International Space Station shared a special holiday Christmas message as they spent the festive season away from their loved ones. Amid these festivities, can anyone imagine Christmas without Santa Claus? The North American Aerospace Defense Command website's annual Santa Tracker offered real-time updates on Santa's progress as he travels the world, capturing millions of hearts around the world. With Tripti Tripathi, Tanvi Taneja for DD India.
And Christmas is being celebrated with fervor around the country as well, in India as well. I'm joined by my posse of reporters. Kanzil Rodrigues joins me from Goa, Amish Mahajan from New Delhi, Kunal Shinde from Agartala, Anibrata Bhattacharya from Kolkata. First of all, boys, Merry Christmas to you. Give us a sense of how Christmas is being celebrated in the cities where you are. Amish, let me begin with you. How is capital Delhi celebrating it?
Absolutely, Amrit, and wishing you a very Merry Christmas and our viewers. As you can see, the Christmas is fully packed with the joy, and as you can see, the Delhi is fully packed with the lot of joy and happiness. And I'm currently at the Sacred Heart Cathedral, and you can see the church has been decked up with the lights, and lights are brimming it up. I will ask my cameraman to pan a camera and show the people are coming here. It's almost end of the day, but still the hustling and bustling streets of the church are still busy with crowd. And along with me, I have few people who are here and are enjoying their day well, and I will be talking with them. So let's have with them. Hello, sir. Hello. So how are you doing? How are you celebrating your Christmas today?
Oh, I wanted to come here. I got a little bit late, but I'm very happy to be here, and the decoration is very nice. People are very happy because after 4 or 5 years, you can see this hustle and bustle, and people are very happy, and I'm very happy to be here.
All right. We're also having some few more youngsters with us. They are here for a visit to Christmas. So, guys, how are you celebrating your Christmas today?
It's nice to be here. It's always peaceful to be here. So, even though it's so rushed right now, but I can find peace over here. It's like it's nice. The lightings are great. The people are looking chirpy and fine. So it's nice to be here at this time.
So as you heard, Amit, people are really like among us, and they are enjoying, they are rejoicing their event, and they are still visiting. The people are crowding here. A lot of crowd was here, and they are still coming to seek the blessings from the Christ. And a lot of joy and happiness can be seen around. Over to you.
Absolute, Amish, I can see the fervor there. Let me go over to Council Rodriguez in Goa. Council, how are the festivities in Goa? Are the beaches filled with people? Are the churches, the beautiful churches, Portuguese churches of Goa filled with the faithful?
Let me first of all wish you a Merry Christmas and compliments of the season two first. And I am at the place where it is Old Goa. And Old Goa, why I'm saying is that because we are also celebrating the exposition of the relics of Saint Francis Xavier. Who is called the patron saint of Goa, and I'm here at the Old Goa. This is 9:45, almost close to 9:45, and you can see around the tourists, everybody moving around. The Christmas last night, there was a Christmas midnight mass, which was the Bishop Cardinal Ferrand was the main celebrant of the feast mass, and after that, there were a number of masses which are held in various churches. You can see the houses lit up everywhere with full of lights, even the streets. Here, where I'm standing at the moment, this is made up like a Christmas lane with full of stars and everything. So here, if you come around in Goa, it's Christmas fever everywhere, and you will see everywhere people, families coming together, friends coming together, getting together, celebrating it in a big way. Even the beaches are filled with tourists. Go everyone. So it's fun and frolic, you can say, of Christmas fever.
Is the carnival on? I mean, did you have huge crowds coming thronging the churches in the morning? And what is it like right now at the churches?
Yes, of course. The last midnight mass was full packed here.
Okay.
Where I'm standing, it's just at the side. It was full packed here. And the important part is that at the same time during Christmas, we are celebrating the exposition, which comes after every 10 years, where the relics of the Saint Francis Xavier are brought down. Okay. So that is also another celebration for which people from all over the world have come down to Goa.
Oh, they can see the relics. They can pay obeisance to the relics.
Correct, for veneration and also. So it's both the celebration. It's one Christmas, New Year plus the relics of Saint Francis Xavier, which will be there till 5th of Jan.
Absolutely, and what a beautiful weather it is to be in Goa at this point in time, Kanzal. Let me go over to Kunal, who's joining us from Agartala. Kunal, give us a sense of festivities in Tripura's capital.
Amritpal, good evening to you first and Merry Christmas.
As
you can see behind me, we are at the Don Bosco Church, in the premises of Don Bosco Church, and the Christmas celebration is going on in full swing across Tripura, in Agartala, and in the northern part of the state called Jampu Hills. So Jampu Hills is its neighboring Mizoram, where Christian-dominated people stay in large number. So over there also Christian festivities are in full swing, as well as in Agartala. So this is the speciality of Agartala. As you can see behind me, like people are coming in large number. They are thronging this place. This is a Don Bosco Church, as I said, and every year people from different walks of life, from different communities, different religions, they throng at this place to celebrate the Christmas. Also, there is another church neighboring Don Bosco. It is few kilometers away from here. It's the Mariam Nagar Church, and I want to tell you that the situation over there is so difficult that we cannot even enter into the pathways of Mariam Nagar Church, because so much crowded it is. It is like it's the annual festivities that people celebrate in this part of the northeast. Northeast, as you know, Amritpal, you have been here.
Yeah.
The Christian community is in large number, and Christmas is celebrated on a large scale. In the morning also, church services were held in the churches across the state, and prayers were offered, cakes were distributed. Agartala is decorated. The festivities is in full swing. The cake shops have been decorated with stars, with masks of Santa Claus, with balloons, with colorful lightings to the Christmas trees. And as my camera person is showing you, the stage and the lighting in this particular Don Bosco Church premises. So on my right is the Don Bosco Church, and now they have switched off the light because it is getting like it is very late now. But still, in and around in this premises and in the church area, people have been coming out in large number and they are celebrating. They are still wishing each other. They are greeting each other with Merry Christmas, and the festivity continues. All the delicacies, the Christian faithfuls, they have prepared various delicacies to celebrate the birth of Lord Jesus Christ and savor this occasion.
True.
So it is a remarkable thing. Agartala, as you know, it's a cosmopolitan city, and people from various walks of life, they celebrate each and every festivities in large number, be it Durga Puja, be it Ganeshotsav, be it Christmas. So the people from Tripura and Agartala in particular celebrate the festivities in large number. So is with Christmas. Amritpal?
All right, Kunal. Let me go over to Anubrata. Anubrata, give us a sense of how the City of Joy is celebrating Christmas. I believe the Park Street has been turned into a dazzling fair like New York's Boros.
Yeah. Merry Christmas to you, Amritpal. As you know, Kolkata has its effervescent charm and glory, particularly in the festival days. And during Christmas, as you can see, where we are standing at this point of time, the Cathedral Road, here you can see the street is absolutely decked up in lights, and the City of Joy is indulging in merriment, you know. And all around, as you can see, the decorative lights are dangling from one end to another and conveying, you know, the Merry Christmas. Even at this hour, you can see that the hundreds of people are thronging to the footpaths. They are going from one end to the other, and particularly here in the central Calcutta, where we are standing by the side is St. Paul Cathedral. This is the first overseas cathedral of the British Empire, and there are several places of visit, you know. The Victoria Memorial is there, and by my side, and there is, Birla Planetarium and Park Street. As you know, that at this point of time, the traffic movement is absolutely restricted there, and we can see here this Cathedral Road is absolutely decked up in light, and people are enjoying in the full festive spirit, because as you know, Amritpal, Kolkata has several places of merrymaking, but as all roads lead to Rome, and people usually throng to these areas in central Calcutta, because there are hotels, pubs, restaurants, clubs. So they are particularly enjoying this day. They are doing merrymaking. And Kolkata lives up with this spirit, and they are looking forward to the the end of the year.
Anubrata, I've never been to Kolkata in Christmas season. I've been in the Pujo season. Are the festivities similar? Give us a sense of that.
Absolutely. The Christmas is celebrated here in the same fervor of Durga Puja. As it is said that the Christmas Puja is held here. So what we can see, the same spirit, and people are enjoying the same fervor and same spirit here also in the Christmas. Early in the morning, the people throng to the churches to offer prayers. But right at this point of time, all the places of visit are lying closed, and but people are thronging to the footpaths. There are hundreds and thousands.
Right.
They are not only from Kolkata; they are coming from suburbs and even from the other states to see and witness the glory of Kolkata right at this point of time.
All right, Anubrata, Kunal Shinde, Amish Mahajan, Kanzel Rodrigues from Goa. Thank you all, gentlemen, for joining me on the show. Thank you. And India's journey toward a malaria-free future is the story of a remarkable transformation and progress. At the time of independence in 1947, malaria was one of the most pressing public health challenges, with an estimated 7.5 crore cases annually and 800,000 deaths. Over the decade, relentless efforts have drastically reduced these numbers by over 97%, with cases declining to just 2 million and deaths plummeting to just 83 by 2023. The latest World Malaria Report 2024, released by WHO, celebrates India's significant progress. India's achievements include a significant reduction in malaria cases and malaria-related deaths between 2017 and 2023. The success is further highlighted by India's exit from WHO's high burden to high impact group in 2024, signifying a turning point in its fight against malaria. These achievements reflect the nation's robust public health interventions and its vision to achieve malaria-free status by 2030. The foundation of India's success lies in its comprehensive and multi-pronged strategy. And preparations for Mahakumbh 2025 are in full swing, with Uttar Pradesh police ensuring comprehensive safety and order for devotees. The ADG, or the Additional Director General of Police responsible for the arrangements, Amitabh Yash, inspected the Sangam area in Prayagraj on Tuesday, reviewing the security arrangements. A high-level meeting followed by the Integrated Command and Control Center, where senior officials, including the Additional Director General for the Prayagraj Zone, Banu Bhaskar, and Police Commissioner Tarun Gaba, discussed traffic management, security and cyber attack prevention. Advanced technologies like AI will also be deployed to enhance safety measures. Strict vigilance will be maintained throughout the event to ensure a seamless experience for devotees. The Indian Defence Ministry launched an app and a website called Rashtra Parv on 25th of December, which is celebrated as Good Governance Day. The Secretary in the Ministry of Defence, Rajesh Kumar Singh, unveiled the app, where Indians will be able to buy tickets and passes for the national functions such as Republic Day Parade and Independence Day celebrations in Delhi. This will not only be efficient and easy, but also convenient for Indian citizens.
To announce today that the Defence Ministry has launched this new website and mobile app for giving our citizens information about all the national festivals that are being organized by the Ministry of Defence, such as Independence Day, Republic Day, Beating Retreat, etc. The website and the mobile app will give them complete convenience and information at their fingertips when it comes to all details relating to these national festivals, parking arrangements, ticketing or pass arrangements, details about the tableaus that have been selected.
A special operation is underway by the ATS with local police support to search for Bangladeshi nationals living illegally in Maharashtra. Based on secret information, the operation involves police from Thane, Navi Mumbai and Nashik. 17 Bangladeshi citizens, including 14 men and 3 women, were arrested for illegal residence. Investigations revealed that they used fake documents such as Aadhaar and PAN cards to conceal their identities. Further inquiries are being conducted by the local police stations. You're watching DD India NewsHour. Time now for some sports news. India will take on Australia in the Boxing Day Test match at the iconic Melbourne Cricket Ground, or the MCG, from Thursday. With the series currently locked at 1-1 and a place in the World Test Championship at stake, both teams will be desperate to win the MCG Test.
Gavaskar Trophy 2024 has reached Melbourne for the Boxing Day Test match between India and Australia. The tourists began the Border Gavaskar Trophy on a high, winning the series opener in Perth by a huge margin of 295 runs. However, they squandered the momentum with a limp performance in Adelaide, where Australia completely outplayed them and bounced back with a 10-wicket defeat to draw level. With the third test at the Gabba ending in a draw, The series is currently locked at 1-all. India will be hoping to make a good start with the bat in the fourth test. After poor display from the batters in the last two tests, India would be hoping that the batters come up with a better performance in Melbourne. Indian captain Rohit Sharma is facing the heat not only for his captaincy but for his batting as well. In 3 innings so far, he has scored a total of 19 runs. Since his arrival, India have lost both the test and the captain will be desperate to turn things around. On the other hand, the highlight of the series so far has been the performance of Travis Head and Jasprit Bumrah. Head has already scored 2 centuries and a half century in 3 tests. In the last test, he smashed 152 runs and will be eyeing more success. Whereas Jasprit Bumrah is the leading wicket taker in the series. The Indian pace spearhead has already picked up 21 wickets in the series and the team will be relying on him to ensure that Head does not score big against them. The stage is now set for another fierce clash between India and Australia. With the series as well as a place in the World Test Championship at stake, both teams will be desperate to win the MCG Test. Sports Desk, DD India.
And Jasprit Bumrah on Wednesday became only the second Indian bowler after R. Ashwin breached ICC's 900 test rating point mark. Bumrah, who is currently the top-ranked test bowler, achieved 904 rating points. He's now level with Ashwin's best, which he achieved in 2016 during the test series against England. Overall, Bumrah is the 26th player to surpass 900 points in tests. Among current cricketers, Australia's Pat Cummins reached 914 points in 2019, while Africa's Kagiso Rabada attained 902 points in 2018. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola refused to blame only Erling Haaland for the club's poor run ahead of their match against Everton on Thursday. Guardiola said that the club's dismissal run is down to the whole team and not one player. City has secured just 1 win in the 8 Premier League games. Their current streak coincides with Haaland scoring just twice. But the coach was unable to pinpoint a single reason for their poor run. He was optimistic of a return to form in the near future. Guardiola is still uncertain if John Stones, Matheus Nunes and Ederson will be fit when City host Everton. The Indian contingent has concluded their campaign at the Asian Youth and Junior Weightlifting Championships on Wednesday in Doha with a rich haul of 33 medals. India's youth lifters in the age group of 13 to 17 years led the charge by winning 21 medals, including all 7 golds. The junior lifters in the age group of 15 to 20 years added 12 medals to the tally. 16-year-old Joishna Sabar stole the spotlight on the opening day. Competing in the women's youth 40 kilogram category, Joishna swept 3 gold medals with a total lift of 135 kilograms, setting a new Asian record. Payal and Sanjana won 5 medals. The championships featured competitions in 40 categories, which included 20 each at the junior and youth levels. That's it then in this edition of DD India NewsHour, but do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India's mobile app. The app is available both on Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on your screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Amritpal Singh from my entire team here in Delhi. Thank you for watching DD India NewsHour. Bye-bye. Merry Christmas once again.